type of SOP out there for different type of business, but however, not all of them are really applicable to your type of business due to location, policy, and educational level of your labor force. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha, your family. If this is your first time, you're warmly welcome. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 7 steps to develop your own customized SOP for your business. Let's dive in. So 1, begin with the end in mind. That's very simple. So what's the goal? What's the purpose, right? So for example, if I want to develop an SOP for effective feeding on my farm, is to ensure that the fishes grow faster to meet market time, right? So they can grow faster for me to be able to sell. That's the whole essence, because if you feed well, the fishes can grow faster and then they can reach the market on time, right? So that's the whole essence. So this is just an example. So you have to be really clear on that before ever you can commence writing an SOP for your business, right? The second one is to choose a format, right? So there are 3 types of format that you can use depending on the type of routine or the type of procedure is being undertaken in your business. So the first one is a simple step, right? So the simple steps are very easy to understand. Develop an SOP to maintain biosecurity on my farm, especially when it comes to the farm tools. It's very easy. So it goes like this: ensure you wash all farm tools after using them, soak them in chlorine and sun dry them, and ensure that you use glove while using the chlorine. That's a very simple, straightforward that everybody can understand. So if this is a type of routine or procedure in your business, then you can use this format, right? The second user, the flowchart is you can choose if there's a possible outcome that you have to look at, right? So for example, if I want to have an SOP to produce all male tilapia, I need to use flowcharts because they should collect the fry, they put it in the nursery pod, and they have to prepare the hormone feed the fish within a certain range of time, and then we can have all male tilapia. So if I want to make an SOP for the production of all male tilapia, this is the type of format I'll use, is the flowchart, right? This is the format I will use, right? So the third format you can use is hierarchy, right? So hierarchy is, you can use hierarchy if you have an SOP that do involve decision making from different departments, right? So for example, if I want to talk about SOP for my financial management, I need to use this procedure of hierarchy because I have the admin and the finance officer which take record and prepare the report. On the other hand, I have the farm assistants which normally request for money to buy feed, to do casual labor on the farm. So these are people from different units in a well-standard fish farm company. These are 2 different people from 2 different, which is from the admin and finance department, and under the operations, which is the feed and the labor on the farm. So if I make an SOP of this, I will use this hierarchy to make it very easy so that everybody will know what they should do, right? So if the admin finance wants to prepare a financial report, the farm assistant, which is in operation, should be able to provide this information for the admin. So these are the 3 types of formats you can use depending on the type of business and the type of routine or procedure that is being undertaken in your business, right? The third one is ask for input. This is really important, right? You need to ask your team for inputs and even extend and ask experts. Right now, I'm developing an SOP which I want it to serve as a blueprint, not only for myself but for other farmers, because fish farming is new in Israel, right? I'll ask my team, but I'll get more inputs from experts like my mentors who I normally ask whenever I'm doing activity in my fish farm. So I'll ask them, right? So these are the 2 people you should ask input for. But why you should ask your team? Because they are the one that is going to use this tool, and they are the one that is going to use this document, and they are the one that are going to undertake the procedure, the activities on your farm or in your business, right? So you need to involve them for them to know what is going on and what are the information in the document. Because if you don't get them involved in the beginning, trust me, definitely do not know what is in the document. They will not be able to do the activity how you want it, right? The fourth one, define the scope, right? So you have to ensure that you define the scope, right? In the scope, you write down the document in order to ensure that all the teams in other departments are well defined. So right, so this brings us back to when you have to ensure that in the format of hierarchy, right? So you need to have the scope to make it very clear. So for example, it should be clear that at every 28th month, the operation manager should file all the documents, receipts he used for operation, so that will be easier for the admin by the 31st to prepare a financial report. So it should be clear, right? So that will be easier for everybody to understand what is in that document, right? Then the fifth one is identify your audience. This is really important, right? Because know your audience will help you to determine whether you should write an SOP document which have more pictures, illustration, or text, right? So depending on the level of education of your team you are working with, you should able to know the type of document you should prepare while writing or developing an SOP. So for example, if I really want to develop an SOP, I should use more pictures, because there are certain activities that it's very difficult for some of my team, especially the casual that do come, because fish farming is still new into most people in Sierra Leone. So if I'm going to develop an SOP for certain area, I have to use more pictures, which is more easier for them to really understand an illustration, right? So you need to understand your audience while developing your SOP, right? So the sixth one, my dear, write your SOP now. Now the deal starts. Sit down, write a draft of your SOP. And while writing that, please, you have to also consider the title page, the table of content, if it's very large and with so many pages. Because the table of content is very easy for people to really know the area that they want to read and the one that is important to them. And also be specific about the procedures, right? Be specific about the procedure instead that people have to undertake to achieve or to take certain things, right? And the last but not the least is to review, test, edit, and repeat, right? So now finally you have written the draft of the SOP, and now you have to review, right? So you have to send it back to your team member and the experts which you ask for input, to see whether ask them, send it back to the people you ask for input. Some of them are your team member and the expert you ask when you are writing it, for them to review and make input, and then you can make correction where necessary. Then after that, you yourself have to test the SOP and see whether you get the desired results you wanted, right? So you yourself, you have to give it to your team member for them to test it as well, but for them to really to show that if they understand what you meant in that document. So that's where you give it out to your team to test it as well, right? And then finally you come back again and do final editing, and then you can then try it. Now you try it now. So everybody have tested it. Now you try it, right? After trying it, now you repeat the same process again, and now you can incorporate this SOP into your business. Thanks very much for watching. Please leave your comments if there is other steps that we need to include in developing our SOPs. And also, if you like what I'm doing, please support me with a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. As always, I remain your girl, Missy, your farm lady, and bye.